Hello and welcome to Learning to Be Human. I'm Benji and I'm learning right along with you. Today is episode 3 of our look at the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. In our last episode, we talked about being proactive and how that would make you much more ready to take on new challenges in your life. Today, we'll talk about beginning with the end in mind, which goes hand in hand with the idea of being proactive. The story I'll tell you today is of my journey with weight loss. Many times in my life, I have had great success at losing weight, 50 pounds, 75 pounds, 2-3 times. And yet, after a year, I always put all the weight back on. I used to wonder why it was that I could never keep the weight off. Was there just something wrong with me? Had I no chance to begin with? Should I never try again? But after reading this book, I realized that once I reached my goal, I didn't know what to do next. I had no plan of action. And I never really visualized reaching my goal at all in the first place. Reaching my goal felt like a faraway concept that I hoped to maybe one day live up to that dream that I had. But once I was able to live up to that dream, I never had a framework of being able to maintain a lifestyle that I enjoyed. That's why you have to begin with the end in mind. When you're able to do this, you create a framework so that when you get to the created stage, the built stage, when you have something in front of you, you'll enjoy it. He makes a very strong point about making a personal mission statement. A personal mission statement is similar to a mission statement for any business or organization you'll ever see. It's a statement that goes over exactly what it is that this organization or company believes in and what it is that they will do in order to make sure that that effort is put in. A personal mission statement is just the same. It is a promise to yourself that you will strive to uphold specific standards and beliefs. It is your principles that rule you, your principles that you write down into this mission statement. It took me 6 months to be able to truly parse out what my mission statement was going to be. And it was very difficult. It took months. I went to my therapist and I said, why can't I figure out what it is that I want with my life? I felt a great deal of pressure with writing it. And then one day I sat down, made sure I was in a quiet room, and realized that I was afraid to want things. I was afraid that I might fail to achieve these things that I put on pedestals. And so I made a list of things that I just could not live without. Something like being a competent person, being reliable, having people in my life that I love and care about. And things like that, I couldn't deny wanting those, needing those. And I will do what it takes to get those. Within this chapter, he talks about what it takes to live your life, and that you always will have to center yourself around something. Whether it's a money center, a family center, a society center, whatever it is, a self center, you will always have something in the center of your action that causes you to act. Because whenever you act, you will always have a first creation, which is your thought of the action, and then the final action creation, which is the literal creation of that thing in the world. You can't do anything without first thinking about it and building a framework for how to get that thing. If you live your life based around any particular item, your framework will be based around that particular item. The issue with most frameworks that people have, and he talks about this in great detail, is that they fall short in some category of your world. Whether you're a money-focused person that makes you fall short with your family, or you're a family-focused person that makes you fall short with your money. Or maybe you focus your entire life on possessions and owning things, and you never experience a vacation or never get to go see anything in person. Your life shouldn't be centered around these fickle little things, these items, these people. They should be centered around ideals and principles that you need to live up to and that you need to have deep, deep in your core. Stephen Covey calls this a principle center, which is why you need a mission statement to write out your principles. If you don't know what your principles are, it will be impossible to live your life with them at your center. It's very difficult to choose principles that are worth living by. But after some soul searching, I guarantee you'll find something that you believe in so much that you're kind of scared of it. So the order goes, you must write a mission statement in order to know what it is that you want out of your life. And then you have to put those wants and needs into the center of your life, these principles into the center of your life. And once you're able to use these principles at the center of your life, you'll be able to flourish and thrive in a way that you didn't before. I used to hate the idea of vision boards and mentalization and manifestation. And while I still don't really believe much in it, this is what that is. Writing a personal mission statement is, in essence, a more practical version of a vision board. It's a more practical version of saying to manifest, because you hear it all the time. They say, just manifest what you want, put a Ferrari on the vision board, and one day you'll have it. And we all know that's just bullshit. But if there are things in your life that you don't have, and there are abilities that you wish to possess, you have to make that a priority, or else you'll always remain in the same place you always were. Another good example of not having a good center for me personally is why I went to college. I went to college believing I was going to be a biology major, and that I loved it and I needed it. But really, I just wanted to be a biology major because I couldn't think of anything else to do. And I thought I could get a job in it. But then 1 week going to labs, sitting through 3 hours of bullshit, stuff I never cared about, stuff I never wanted a lick of part in, never wanted anything to do with this crap. And yet here I was sitting here saying this was going to be the next 4 years of my life. I couldn't do it. I immediately changed my major to philosophy because at least I could thrive. At least I had something that I enjoyed about it. There was a framework for me to succeed. Sometimes we go into things for the wrong reasons, and it makes it very hard for us to maintain focus, maintain motivation. So you have to begin with the end in mind. You have to understand what it is that you want and why it is that you want it, and then build your world around that. My personal mission statement is 13 very important things for me personally that I want to have in my life. Things that I need to cultivate and continue to grow in order to be the person I always wanted to be. Because that was the whole reason of reading this book. That's the whole reason for trying to learn these points, is so that you can progress your life in a way that's positive and beneficial for everyone involved. And I guess the last point that I would want to get to when it comes to keeping the end in mind, we regularly have our idea of who we are, and we think that we've been put this way without our help, without any guidance, and we're now just here by design. We're just here by default. When really we're here by design. The things that went into making you who you are the things that you were experiencing as a child, and some of it has to do with the way your brain works, and other of it has to do with the way your parents raised you, and your friends treated you, and the world you were felt that the world was, whether it was a negative or a positive place. A lot of things we think are in our minds by default, but we have to figure out ways to change the framework of our understanding of our world in order to make it so that it's there by design. Because once our thinking is designed, once it's motivated by our principles, and once it's within our control, and we understand our sphere of influence, we're able to make true progress and move throughout this world in a way that will be more beneficial. You aren't stuck in who you are. You just don't understand why it is that you are that way in the first place. This book is a great way to look at to take an introspective look on who you are and how you got there, and changing who that is in order to be someone that you wish to be in the future. And I don't mean just to stare at the future and say one day I'll be good enough, but it's to understand that you're training. This is a training process. You won't start out at the beginning being very good, but you will be able to start acknowledging the facts that you are able to design your own principle-centered life. Thank you. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.